Mike Moore Media, the first place to hear Rockingham County news and information.
Our monthly meeting with our friends in Mayodan, sponsored by Shelton's Airworks, Airport Drive-In, First Bank, and JDK Automotive. Lisa Hopper, Mayodan Town Manager, is on the line. Hey, Lisa, welcome back.
Hey. Well, how are you doing?
I'm doing just great, thanks.
Great.
Well, we've got several things of importance we want to talk about. Let's get into recycling first.
Oh, let's talk about recycling, please.
Yeah, and when we need some
help. I feel
help.
like a broken record almost, but it just has to be said. The recycling program is for certain recyclables, and we are just having a problem with people putting things in the recycling cans that are not recyclable materials. And so we just want to remind folks again to please be cognizant of what they put in their recycling cans, because there has been a lot of materials sent to the recycle center that they are, and I don't know, for a better word, dinging us for. And we have been given a warning that if we continue to bring recycling that contains bags, and particularly bags of grass clippings and brush and yard vegetation, that they will ban us from the recycling center, and then I don't know where we would take recycling. So, we just have to, speak about this, talk about this, make sure our neighbors, our friends, our relatives, and everyone knows that the recycling bin is not for your yard vegetation, your yard debris, and it is not for bags of any kind, and no food and food material or food residue. So we are getting dinged heavily for those items, and it just contaminates the center, and they can't have that. They just won't have that. And so we've got to do a better job of cleaning up what goes in the recycling, or we're going to lose our recycling point.
Listen up here, folks. This is so important. The people that do care, that do it right, are paying the penalty here. Grass clippings and yard waste and all of that does not go in recycling.
No, and it's just going to ruin it for everybody, and our environment needs it so much to be done, and so you don't want to do away with it. It took us a very good long time to find a place to take our recycling, because recycling's not going overseas anymore, and so there are less and less and less recycling centers. It took us months to find one, and now that we're in there and they agreed to accept our recycling, we don't want to lose it, because there's nowhere else to go with it. And so please, just be cognizant and try to remind people. And if you're on Facebook or something, make a little Facebook post about recycling and say, I hope all my friends and neighbors and everybody that enjoys the fact that they have curbside recycling will recycle right. And that was the motto from the North Carolina program, was recycle right. So please, let's try to recycle right and keep our recycling center and be able to continue to do curbside recycling.
Sure, yeah. And realistically, if things don't improve, there is a chance of, I guess, really losing that right.
Well, that's true, because if we lose our center, where's it going to go? And so then you can't pick it up if you have no place to take it.
Yeah.
So we certainly don't want to lose our recycling, curbside recycling. And so we're just, going to beg the public to please put the word out themselves, try to help us with this, and we'll do, a few more Facebook posts about it, and we'll do something on our website and just try to remind people. And, the sad part about that is the people who are doing it right are probably the people who are seeing that, and the people who are doing it wrong, they don't ever see that, and they don't really care. We try to tag recycle cans that we can obviously see there's something in it that is not recyclable. We go ahead and tag it. If it's tagged twice, that indicates that there's a problem with that recycler that resident that's continuously putting things in their recycle can that shouldn't be there, and we pick up the can and they lose their recycling right because they're just using it as an extra trash can.
So you have done that. You are doing that then.
We are doing that.
Yeah.
We have picked up many recycling cans because they're not really recycling. They're just using it for extra trash.
Sure. Yeah.
And so once it gets, if the driver doesn't obviously see it and only sees it after it's being dumped into the truck via camera, then he knows his truck is contaminated and it's going to have to go to the landfill. If he should happen to miss something and not see it go in, but it gets to the recycle center and they start recycling our pile of debris, then they see it and they ding us on it and they say, okay, if this comes back again, eventually you're going to lose your right to bring, and we are going to ban you from this recycle center. So we're getting close to that. They have given us warnings now.
That's a shame.
And
okay.
yeah,
recycle right. Recycle right.
Recycle right. It's your cans rinsed, your jugs rinsed, your cardboard that does not have food debris in it. No pizza boxes, please. Your magazines or your large paper, even little scraps of paper is not recyclable. A magazine or your newspapers and things like that are, but, just tearing up little pieces of paper and throwing them in there, or you're shredding, that's not recyclable.
Okay.
So, I know it's very few things, but it's not trash. It is the items that can be recycled that should be put in the recycle can.
Okay.
Vacuum cleaners, no. Christmas trees, no.
Oh, gee.
Wrapping paper, no.
Wow. Recycle right, folks.
Yes.
And if anyone has any questions, just call Town Hall.
Exactly. Call us. If you have an item you're not sure, call us.
Yeah.
And we'll try to steer you the correct way.
Let's talk about something else that is so vitally important, and some of us have done this months ago, and that's filling out the census. I did mine online in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Exactly.
How important is this census? And I know there are some census takers out there now. Please be kind to them because they're doing a service to all of us.
Exactly, because your census count is very important to your representation at the state level and at the federal level. And your population count is very important to us for funding from your state funding levels and from your federal funding levels. And you're correct. And the people that are going door to door or simply going door to door for the people who have not done it online, and they are doing a service. They are trying to make sure that you get counted with the population for everyone who lives in your area, whether it be your city, your town, your county. But you do want to be counted, and we get funds for highway projects. We get funds for streets. We get funds for grants to help lower income with HVAC systems when they don't have one, or they're so old it's not working and not efficient. And so all of those funds are helpful to our community, and so each and every person counts. And towards that, and when you have when you have people in Raleigh voting or people in Washington D.C. voting, they're voting. Your representation numbers are based upon your populations, and so you definitely want to have the people there voting for you and voting for your community, and some of those funds will trickle down to us, and we certainly need that.
Yeah, they're really
try to keep taxes down some and things like that. So let's be kind to our census workers and let's give them the information of how many people live at home with you and all that. And like you said, I did mine online. It was very painless. It only took a few seconds, and I was done and over with. But if you don't have that opportunity to do that online, please be kind to your census worker who comes to your door.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, we're talking about millions and millions of dollars, federal and state funds that do trickle down to our municipalities. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, education alone, all of our schools and education needs funding, and so, it's very important for our highway systems and, keep some of that fuel tax down and things like that. So let's do what we can to provide the answers and hopefully get that funding sources towards us.
Sure. Okay. All right. Very important. Make sure you go right along with the census there and take care of that. A lot of things, as we all know, in these challenging times, festivals, all kinds of events have been canceled. The What the Hay Festival there in Mayodan canceled. A lot of events all over our county and Eden and Reidsville and everywhere else. But we still have some recreational things going on that are very important, and I want you to bring us an update on some things in Mayodan and in Madison as well, Lisa.
Okay. Well, we are very, very proud of our M&M Recreation Center for getting a program together for tubing on the river. It's called Madtown Tubing, and they've been doing it for just a little over 60 days now, and it's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal how many people are coming to our area from other states and other cities and towns in North Carolina. I was just running through the numbers, and Greensboro. I mean, they're just keeping track of where people are coming from at the intake site, and 397 people in 60 days from the Greensboro area. But you've got people from South Boston, Virginia. There are even people listed from Pennsylvania.
Really?
Wow. Lots of places in Virginia: Chatham, Virginia; Axton, Virginia; Bassett, Virginia; Martinsville. Ringgold, Rocky Mount, all these people from Virginia coming down to tube on the river and everything. And it is wonderful. I mean, the numbers in 60 days was just over 2,500 people. 2,500 people on the river in 60 days. I think that they've been so booked that you can't just walk up and get a tube and go down. I think you have to been making reservations to actually go down the river. It's just been a phenomenal effort on their part. They've worked very hard with very short staff to get this done and to provide a great experience for people coming in this area. And they're coming back, and they're coming back, and they're bringing their friends, and they're bringing groups. I know one group, there were 43 people in one group.
Wow.
43 people from another county that came here specifically as a group to do this together, and then went out to eat afterwards. So our local restaurants and businesses are seeing some increase in business from this, and I'm so proud of them. And I personally have not tubed yet, but I have heard it's just wonderful. People are just loving it, and they're just having a great time. And I'm so proud of our staff for doing a great job with that tubing project.
Well, I tell you, you're right. Lee Mitchell and the team there at the Madison Mayodan Recreation Department and everyone involved, that was a great idea, wasn't it?
It was. And when you bring in 2,500 people from outside of your area in 60 days, that's phenomenal. You've done a great job. If you've brought 2,500 people from another area here to see what we have to offer. We have great rivers and trails and biking, and our outdoors is, our biggest asset. And so I just think that's wonderful. And, we are promoting there as well our activities at Ferris Memorial Park with the mountain bike trail, but we finished 9 baskets of the disc golf. They're open for play. Every hole has been sponsored by a local business, and we have started this past on the clearing and the second 9 baskets. Starting to get some pathways cleared through the woods to start on the second 9 baskets, and people are talking about tournaments, and that's another draw for people to come from other counties and from other places here to see what we have, and to hopefully while they're here spend some money in our town or county. And we're excited about that. There's been a lot of great interest in the disc golf, and so we're very excited to be on the pathway to have 18 baskets there. And that should bring in some tournaments and people, and we're just excited about that. And Ferris Memorial Park is a fantastic park. When we have visitors there, they tell us how wonderful that park is, and that they wish they had something close to home where they're at of a similar nature.
Oh, I'm sure. I know you hear that all the time.
Oh, absolutely. And it's unfortunate that around here I've heard some people say, well, it's outside of town. It's It's a mile outside of town.
A
And
mile.
then you hear people like that come here from Raleigh or from Charlotte or from Wilmington, and they go, "Oh, it takes me 45 minutes just to get out of my subdivision."
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I wouldn't love to have a park 1 mile from my house like this.
Sure.
But you know, there's lots of things to do there. You know, the mountain bike trail. We still have the driving range. We have the miniature golf. The playgrounds, of course, aren't open right now simply because